They said to me, "We got some bad news." I said, "She was pregnant. She's pregnant." Just plays through my head, what if I'd swap anything in this world to bring her back?
Should never have happened. There's all these scenarios that play in your head. What if?
My job was to save the life of the baby.
He was fighting to be alive.
You're a miracle boy, aren't you?
This baby is a miracle baby.
Hey, beautiful.
Oh, he's just an image of Sarah.
Just perfect.
He is. A miracle baby.
Devastating tragedy and uplifting triumph. Hundreds die on our roads every year. But there was something about a crash last month involving a stolen car and another car being driven by a young pregnant mum that stunned the nation. It was at once a senseless waste of a beautiful life and the most extraordinary battle to summon another one into the world. You're about to see how fate can rest in simple, everyday decisions and how seconds and incredible dedication saved a little unborn baby.
Banjo.
Saw a couple of police officers at the front doors of Banjo's waving their torches at me. So I thought I'd better go down and check what's up. I just said, are you Daniel Sterling? Yeah, mate. They said to me, "We got some bad news. Your partner Sarah's died in a car accident." My body just went numb. And I said, "She was pregnant. She's pregnant."
Hobart, in the wee small hours of a weekday, is a pretty sleepy place. The streets are quiet and the dangers on the road, you'd have to think, are pretty low. But not this night, Friday, 22nd of January this year.
Police were doing their normal routine checks or patrols. They noticed a car around the Mornington roundabout, driving erratically.
And speeding. Police believe the car was stolen and the two 15-year-old boys and two girls aged 15 and 12 were on board. As it races on into the night, across town, a young family is making decisions that will be among their last. Daniel Sterling is a baker's apprentice. The loves of his life are partner Sarah and their little son Jordan. Daniel had pulled a night shift at the bakery. He'd thought the punishing overnight hours were behind him.
I'd finished up doing that probably 2 months beforehand because it was getting harder for me to get in there. I had a lift, but that fell through. Sarah's offered to take me that night. And she should have been in bed. Yeah, should have been in bed.
At 12:30 a.m, the whole family piled into their car to take Daniel to work. Sarah at the wheel, Daniel by her side, and a sleepy Jordan in the back seat.
Do you remember the drive-in? Were you talkative? Was she talkative?
She was tired, because she's 7 months through a pregnancy, 8 months. Still had a chat the whole way, her happy self.
It was a 20-minute drive from the northern suburbs to Banjo's bakery on Hobart's waterfront. It was at 12:56 that police first encountered the stolen car.
They attempted to intercept the car. It failed to stop, so they monitored the car from a distance with the no pursuit policy.
The stolen car continued on its fateful path towards the city. As Sarah, Daniel and Jordan pulled up at the bakery. They said their goodbyes, and Sarah drove off with Jordan still sound asleep in the back. Around the same time, police say the tearaway car was doing at least 120 kilometres an hour across Hobart's ghostly quiet Tasman Bridge.
Quite fast over a bridge that has 70-kilometre speed limit. And then once you come into town, it slows down to 60 and then even 50. So more than double the speed limit.
Purely by chance, at this time, Sarah left Banjo's and drove towards this intersection on Hobart's waterfront. It's less than a kilometre from the bakery, and with no traffic, it would have taken her 2 minutes. If she'd said goodbye to Daniel a split second earlier or later, she would have escaped what happened next.
It crushes me. I'm never going to get to hear a voice again. Smile. Nothing. If anything was to bring her back, yeah, I'd swap anything in this world. Anything.
The initial details was a motor vehicle accident involving 2 cars, an unconscious patient still trapped, and there was also a car fire.
By chance, paramedic Keith McQueen and his team were just 500 metres away. They were at the crash site in a couple of minutes.
The scene was definitely a confronting scene when we first arrived. There was one car ablaze in flames, flames that were reaching 2 stories plus in height, and another car that was significantly damaged.
None of the teens from the stolen car was seriously hurt. Little Jordan was shaken but fine, but his mum was dreadfully injured.
We found out very early on that she was pregnant. We estimated she was in an advanced pregnancy.
Where were you when this call came through?
I'd just left work and I was actually walking down the road. The fire engine just came screaming past and I thought to myself, I wonder how long it's going to be until I get the call. And that was about 1:12 a.m. So the only information I knew was that she was so terribly injured that it was likely that she was going to die, even at that early phase. I rang ambulance comms and I asked for some more information. That was at about 16 minutes past 1, and it was at that point that I found out that she was heavily pregnant.
When I found out that she was pregnant, we had about 5 minutes to get her to hospital for the delivery of a reasonably healthy baby, and that time frame wasn't achievable, even though we were close to hospital. I honestly didn't think Sarah was going to survive, and I honestly didn't think the baby was going to survive at this time.
I miss you, I miss you.
She loved you.
She did, very much so. And I loved her. I still do. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to find, I won't, anyone that'll come close to her, ever. So, yeah, I don't think I really want to.
A senseless tragedy in the heart of a city took the life of a much-loved partner, a doting mum, an adored daughter.
She was close to perfect, as you were going to get, yes.
Should never have happened. No, totally wrong. Too young. You should never bury your children.
But it was up to a dedicated team of paramedics and specialists to ensure this would not be a double tragedy. Sarah Paino was 32 weeks pregnant with her second child when life drained from her at the crash scene. When her heart stopped, her unborn baby's life hung in the balance.
My colleagues provided CPR to Sarah all the way to hospital. Quite a stressful, emotional situation for them.
Administering CPR on a woman when the primary purpose is to keep her baby alive.
Yeah, that's right. And we knew that. We knew that was why we were doing it. And it's a very strange, it's a strange feeling to be doing that. You're right, yeah.
Sarah and Daniel met 7 years ago.
We clicked basically straight away. Yeah, you know, I knew I'd found my companion.
Now, Dad being Dad, you know, this is my little girl you're talking about. I said, who's this Daniel bloke? You know, no one just comes along and takes me Sassy. But it turned out he was good. And Sarah really loved him. Really.
She wanted to be a mum one day. Was it something that was really important to her?
Yes, not at an early age, but when she met Daniel, that was the plan. Yes.
3 years into their relationship, Sarah excitedly revealed that 2 would become 3.
She'd come in with the pregnancy stick, come in waving it at me. She's like, I'm pregnant. I'm like, oh, I was happy, very, very happy.
Baby Jordan was born on April 23rd, 2014.
He had curly hair and even now, when I look at Jordan, I'm looking at Sarah.
And when Sarah fell pregnant a year later, she delivered the news in precisely the same way.
She come in waving the pregnancy stick and she's like, I'm pregnant again.
Early tests revealed a boy was on the way. Sarah couldn't wait to name him.
She's like, I really like Caleb. I said, yeah, I do too. She's like, we'll settle that one, eh? Yep.
Sarah wanted him so bad and was, even though she had Jordan, was looking forward to it, having 2 boys.
You play through your mind, what if? What if someone else had turned up to give him a lift? What if, you know, Sarah was at home? There's all these scenarios that play in your head.
Describe the scene for me when Sarah is rushed in.
We really had about 3 minutes to prepare. It just seemed like a blink of an eye, and the next thing I saw was Sarah being wheeled in by the paramedics with CPR going on, and all I could see was a massive belly.
At 1:21 a.m, less than 20 minutes after the crash, Caleb was delivered by emergency caesarean.
When Caleb came out, he was critically unwell. He was very flat. He didn't make any effort to breathe. He didn't make any effort to cry. He didn't open his eyes.
Paediatric doctors put a tube down into his windpipe to help inflate his lungs and CPR to get his circulation going. And so with that, they were able to, effectively get a heart rate, and eventually he started breathing on his own. Then he was transferred to the intensive care unit.
And that process, until he really got going on his own, took about 25 minutes.
So it was touch and go?
It was very touch and go.
I think when I first saw him, it was a few hours after he was born. And it struck me actually how stable he was at that point. And so as each day went by, we were becoming increasingly, optimistic about his outcome.
He's an image of Sarah. Yeah, I just see Sarah in him all over. Thank my lucky stars he's here and Jordan's here.
This baby is just completely and utterly a miracle baby. The fact that the accident happened so close to the hospital, the fact that I was still available to be able to make those really critical decisions, the fact that they could get her to the hospital so quickly meant that we could actually give Caleb the opportunity of life.
It was really bittersweet for me at that time. On the one hand, you've had this really, truly astonishing event of having this baby being born under caesarean section in these remarkable situation, and yet at the same time its mother had died. So, it was really sad, yeah.
I was just amazed. The first time I saw him, I was in tears because I was just like, wow, and happy seeing him, but knowing that Mum, Mum wasn't.
Get out, little man, for a cuddle. A cuddle with Dad.
Hi.
How are you, Mel?
Oh, Daniel, look at him. Hi. Oh, he's just beautiful.
Considering his rough start in life, he's doing really well. Doing really well.
And you reckon he looks like Mum, hey?
I reckon he does, Mum all over. Yep.
Meeting little Caleb, it's hard to believe he had such a traumatic start to life.
You look and think, I could have had everyone wiped from me. Jordan, Caleb included. I don't like to think that, but, they're still here, so I think it's meant to be. Hey, dude. You'll get there.
One of the biggest fears with Caleb was lack of oxygen and what that could do to him. Has he passed his tests?
I think he's doing really well, actually, and I think despite that stress that he had early on in life, he's made a very good recovery from that short, sharp shock, if you like. So his tests are encouraging. He's behaving really well.
He's had all his tests and whatnot, and all's came back well. Thank God. He should be a normal little boy.
He's just perfect.
He is. You're a miracle, baby, aren't you? You're a miracle.
And it's all thanks to the heroic efforts of the emergency team on that night.
What would you say to them?
Just thank you. I'd like to say a very big thank you for saving my boys' lives. And getting Sarah out of the car. I know it would have been very hard for him to do. Just unreal people. Unreal.
I think the thing that's been most incredible in this story is the team effort from step one right through. There is someone here that is very, very grateful for all of that and would really like to say thank you.
It's just unreal. Catch up with you later. That's fine. Thanks, guys. I'm not in denial that she's gone. I know she's gone. and not come back, but yeah, find it very hard day by day at the moment, so yeah.
Well, Daniel, good luck.
Yeah, thanks for doing what you
luck,
could.
buddy. Yeah, good luck, buddy.
Thanks, mate. She's got that. Done well. That crushes me, you know. It's hard. It's a hard thing to get my head around at the moment. But I got to try, you know, for the boys. Yeah. Just focus on the road ahead and keep the boys happy. Yeah.
You're a very strong man.
I'll try. I'll try.
It's wonderful to be able to report Caleb is doing well, and a few days ago, doctors allowed him to go home with his dad.